Welcome to the 3-minute recap of Apocalypse Z, El Principio del Fin. The story begins with Manel, a lawyer, and his wife Julia visiting family for Christmas. On the way home, an argument about having children leads to a tragic car crash, killing Julia. A year later, Manel is a broken man, living in isolation with his cat, Luculo, in Galicia. Meanwhile, the world is succumbing to the TSJ virus, which turns victims into zombie-like creatures. Manel's sister, Belen, begs him to join her family in evacuating to the Canary Islands. But before he can act, borders close and chaos erupts. Alone and trapped, Manel fortifies his home and scavenges for supplies while witnessing the terrifying spread of the virus. On a scavenging trip, Manel witnesses the brutal transformation of infected individuals and the desperation of local authorities. His isolation briefly ends when he meets Gabriela, a wheelchair-bound woman who stayed behind. Together, they form a bond, and she tells Manel of a rumored evacuation point at the Arusa estuary. Tragically, Gabriela ends her life to avoid becoming a burden, leaving Manel to continue alone. Manel sets out, armed with a spear gun and a diving suit, to find a boat. At the docks, he is captured by Ushakov, a ruthless Russian captain, and his ragged crew. Among them is Viktor, a Ukrainian helicopter pilot who sympathizes with Manel. The group preys on other survivors, and Manel realizes the danger he faces. In desperation, he shares information about a helicopter at a hospital, and hoping to strike a deal for freedom. At the hospital, Manel and Viktor discover survivors: Lucia, a nurse, Cecilia, a nun, and 3 children. The helicopter is intact, but trapped in a courtyard teeming with infected. Supplies are scarce, and the group struggles to formulate a plan. Tensions boil over as Ushakov and his men track the group to the hospital, seeking supplies and control of the helicopter. In a dramatic sequence, the survivors navigate through the hospital's basement. Cecilia heroically sacrifices herself to buy time, staying behind to hold off the infected as the others escape. Reaching the helicopter pad, Manel's group is cornered by Ushakov's men. In a daring move, Manel sabotages the pad's barricades, allowing zombies to pour in. The chaos overwhelms Ushakov's crew, giving the survivors enough time to board the helicopter. As the helicopter ascends, the group feels a brief sense of relief. However, Manel contacts Belen, who frantically warns them to avoid the Canary Islands. It's no longer safe. Fighter jets ominously approach their path, leaving the fate of the survivors and humanity in grim uncertainty.